you have those Europe games and they kick off in the morning, you need to get yourself awake in the morning. You need to get yourself going. If you're a guy like me, I'm not a coffee guy. I'm going to need some caffeine. So we're going to actually use Mountain Dew Kickstart as part of this cocktail to get ourselves going and wake up in the morning. While I mix this thing up, I'm going to let you guys talk about it here, Dan. I'm wondering if you guys are on board with the idea of going a little bit cheaper on the pass game side of things and for the base of our cocktail here, or are there other places that you want to be going? Okay. So while I mix this up, I'm going to be using some Death's Door gin here. We're going to use 2 ounces of that. So we're going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Okay. Then we are going to use an ounce of fresh lime juice there. We're going to use a 1/2 ounce of agave. And then we are also going to use 1.5 ounces, like I said, of the Mountain Dew Kickstart. And I'm using, because it's a margarita-ish drink, we've got the orange citrus here. We're going to use 1.5 ounces of the orange citrus Kickstart. Put that in there. We're going to mix that up. We're not going to shake it up because it's got all of that it's got the, we don't want to make this drink and shake it up and have it blow out the top of the shaker here, because it's got all of the
carbonation
in it. Thank you. I had to open another drink to deal with your Bryce Young take earlier. So that's going to be our opening kickoff for the week. Dan, Adam, do you guys agree with the base of this DFS cocktail in that passing attack?
Good.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting strategy. While you were putting that together, I checked out some lineup options, kind of building with it. And to your point, I was able to fit in a Christian McCaffrey, a Khalil Shakir, who I love, was one of my ECR guys this week, if we were able to get to it, a guy who I think is incredibly undervalued this week, and a controversial player of the show, Tedero and McMillan. So those three around that Browns lineup, and I would feel really good about that. So I think it's a good combination, save a lot of money, and be able to have some undervalued guys in there. Really strong running back group.
It's interesting that you bring up Tedero McMillan, not to cut you off there, Dan, but interesting you bring up Tedero McMillan, because if you swap out the Jaguars for the Browns there, then you can play Tedero McMillan back against that Jaguars team and get a piece of that, and get another piece of that game as well with that over under. And again, that's going to allow you then to fill in your lineup with some of those higher priced guys. That's why I loved both of these lineups. But go ahead, Dan. What's your thoughts on this?
No, I'm with you more on the Browns side. To Adam's point, I mean, the books seem to think that's going to be one of the higher over-unders of the week. Now, we seem to think it's going to be more on the underside. But the whole thing of why you kind of get excited a little bit about Joe Flacco taking over for the Cleveland Browns was the idea that he could re-spark some of that magic he had back in 2022 and throwing the ball down deep. Now, he wasn't good for the Colts, but he still let it fly. And there was a lot of turnovers, which can lead to bigger shootouts. And Tillman, I think Tillman's the better receiver in the Cleveland Browns over Jerry Jeudy. I think he is the best receiver on that team. So I'm with you there. And David Njoku was a top 5 tight end for me. So I like that stack more so than Lawrence, Strange, and Thomas going against Carolina. I'm not big on Strange being much of a points producer. And when you go again and put the salaries all together, the combination of the Browns actually allows you to do even more things with more bigger name type of players. So I'm with you so far on the basis of this.
Yeah, my only thing, like I said, my only thing about it was I'm looking to try and save some money here on that base so that we can fill in with some of those bigger guns like we talked about, like the CMCs, like the DeAndre Swifts, like Khalil Shakir that Adam said he likes. But yeah, that I think that based on what we saw 2 years ago from Joe and from David Njoku and from the idea of being able to push that ball down the field, and hey, if he throws a couple of interceptions, he throws a couple of interceptions, but that just means he's got to throw it more when they get the ball back. I'm excited to play that Browns pass attack against a Bengals pass defense that, outside of the idea of the pass rush with Trey Hendrickson, leaves a little bit to be desired.
All right. So we have our drink, we have the core of our DFS lineup, and we have your week 1 preview just like that. And those drink recipes, we're going to try to get up Amber Phillips or at Amber Alert from host of the Queen's Ransom to try to get them on a t-shirt for you guys to be able to check them out and make those cocktails right off of that. So with that though, make sure again, you're downloading Operation Domination on your favorite podcast app, and make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe at FF Advice Net on the Fantasy Football Advice Network channel, because you'll be getting us all season long with video content. Again, make sure you check us out. We'll be back again tomorrow and the next day with Dr. Brian Scott talking about injuries and Chaz Florida Sports Betting Weekly, because we want to line your pockets along with winning some fantasy football matchups. Until then, we'll see you guys then.